When I was in Bangkok, there was this like temple or something I went to, and it was talking about all these Buddhist teachings, and one word that they kept using was wholesomeness. To do with like, I don't know much about it. I'll share some pictures I took, or I'll look up the teachings basically and make more sense of it. But yeah, the word wholesomeness has kind of been playing around my head the whole holiday, and I've ended up in all these places where it seems a lot of the activities aren't so wholesome, and it's been a bit of a challenge trying to keep my mind in a good place. And like today, for example, I'm in Patong, and it must be the worst yet for motorbikes, drinking. It's more in your face here than it was in the last two places. Um, just that sort of feeling that it's almost like fuck it, we're in Thailand. Like that's how it kind of feels to me, and it's been getting on my nerves a bit. And I done quite a bit of exercise today. That cleared my head for about an hour. And then the way back to the hotel, just try to cross a fucking road for all the motorbikes was a nightmare. That put me right in the mood again. And it's been a bit of a theme of the holiday. I've been thinking the sort of wholesome places is what I was thinking about. And it's one of those things. We know that's what's good for us, but we're always drawn to cheap thrills and that sort of wildness of it. And I probably knew before I came to Thailand. I was thinking of going to Nepal, going to Egypt, and I thought I'll just go to Thailand. It'll probably be, I could end up in Nepal or Egypt, hoping for some like transformative experience or something, and it just doesn't come, and I end up having a shit time, and I built it up to be this thing that it's not. And I thought I'll just go to Thailand. It's like the safest bet. Everyone says go to Thailand. You'll have fun. Be good weather, and but I think part of it probably was that being attracted to the sort of the seediness of it, like kind of all that. Even though I'm not drinking and all that, it's that sort of we know the good thing. Like here, you see it. You'll walk past a number of restaurants, and you can just see it's like quite like, my perspective anyway. It's like an honest, hard-working family or whatnot, and they're just kind of mind their own business. They don't bother you too much. But then I feel bad for them as well. Like I really don't think this is a good place for someone like that to be. Like I feel sorry for them, so all these hard-working people that live here. Um, but a lot of the places are just very in your face. It's like almost like shameless. Come eat here, like massage, all this stuff. Like it's very in your face here, and it's hard to. I think it taints your perspective on life. It's like if you're constantly getting bothered by lady boys and escorts and fucking just like promoters, club promoters, people just desperate for you to go in a restaurant, like shameless sort of sales and all that in your face stuff. It taints your view of the world, and that you're not in a mindset to absorb the wholesomeness that is around you. like some, I don't know, like a an old lady selling fruit on the corner or something, that would maybe bring a smile to your face. But if you've just been bought, if you've been in this seedy environment for an hour, say, it taints your mind. And that's kind of what I've been going through the past few days. And it got me to thinking, I think we do a lot of that as well. In drinking is basically what I wanted to bring it back to. And specifically my last night of drinking. I'll maybe tell the story about that. So basically, I'd been acting up at work, and I think I'd maybe taken 3 or 4 days off, and then I agreed to go back like 2 days a week, and then I would go work in the takeaway, because they also own a takeaway. I would work there at the weekend, because I'd been basically playing up. Oh, the place is stressing me out, that's why I'm drinking so much. I need to have a break from here so I can get a grip on my drinking. That was my excuse. So the agreement was I'd work in the takeaway, and that wouldn't stress me out so much, so I could get a grip on my drinking. There was another thing, which is I kept going into work wanting to have a conversation about my drinking. I remember this was on my mind almost every day I went into work. I'd be sitting on the train thinking, I'm just gonna say to my boss, I'm drinking way too much. Like I think I've got a problem. But then she might be in a good mood and she'd be like, oh, do you want a coffee? Like, oh, it was really busy last night or something. And it would just like, it just wouldn't come to anything. And this would drag on for weeks and weeks. And I think one day I just brought it up. I just said, listen, I think I've got a problem with drinking here. And that's when we came to these sort of agreements, like working in the takeaway, all this sort of stuff. And I think I went in one day and she was like, well, why don't you go to a meeting? And in my head I'm thinking, yeah, I probably should, but like I'll sort it when I go home. Like when I go home I'll phone them up or something. And she's like, would you want to use my phone then? I was like, what? Here, just take my phone and phone them. And I kind of needed that push. It was almost like in a corner, like, do you really want to do something about your drinking? Like, you can't say no now. You've just been talking about how your drinking's fucking up your life. You can't really say no when she's putting the phone in front of you and saying, call AA. Like, so that's what it took to get me on the phone. I went to a meeting on the Monday. I didn't drink on the Monday. That meeting was a little bit gloomy. I didn't get much inspiration from the speaker. It did make it seem like a bit of a task, just staying sober and like not very. I think everyone comes in with a different background, a different severity of their drinking. So to some people that would be a success story, like spending weeks at a time on the couch eating Maltesers, like watching the box sets, like that's better than the situation some people are in. I mean, there was nice stuff, spending time with his family, like being there, not being a bother to them, like, do you know what I mean? It is very big improvements from the situations people are in. But for me, I didn't get much inspiration, as in, this is how I want to live my life. And again, I probably I was like 1 foot in, 1 foot out at this point as well, so I'm probably choosing to see it that way. There was a lot of similarities as well from his story with regards to hiding alcohol, stuff like that, like going to the pub and having like 2 or 3 bottles of wine hidden on the way home from the pub, like things like that I used to do as well. So I did get identification with him, but the overall vibe I got from it wasn't like I didn't want to like sign up there and then, you know what I mean? The second meeting was maybe a bit better, but again, I thought the guy was a little bit weird. Like he's a nice guy, like all that, but I just thought he's a little bit. Again, I'm probably being judgmental because I really don't want to be there. I probably am still just thinking about going back drinking. So I went back to work on the Wednesday. The plan was I'd met someone at the meeting on the Tuesday night. An older guy who was like very welcoming, very like softly spoken, very calm, and he gave me his phone number, and he was like, "Don't worry, kids, you'll be all right," and all this stuff. Call me tomorrow. And I went to work the next day, so this was the Wednesday. Very set. I don't remember exactly what my mindset was. I don't think I was set on quitting at that point. I think I just wanted to. Maybe I wanted to make it to look like I was making an effort, and to try and convince myself that that I wanted to quit, because you've had thousands of opportunities in the past to quit and you've chose not to. And in your head, you're like, this is not the life I want. I'm better than this. I shouldn't be letting people down like this. But the thing is, you've had thousands of opportunities and not done it yet. And part of you is very worried that you will never get a grip on this thing. And I think there was that element of, am I really ready for this? I'm sure you still know what I'm talking about here. This sort of half in, half out kind of thing. But I phoned this guy anyway on the Wednesday, and I'm thinking, I better not drink today, but as the day goes on, remember as well, like I've not had a break, like a proper break in a long time. I would take a week off work because I'd been drinking too much. But that week I'd still be drinking, and I'd maybe have 1 or 2 days of recovering in between there. And then I'd need to go straight back into work again because I'm skint. So this period here, I've just done 2 AA meetings, and I'm back to work the next day. And at some point throughout the day, I don't remember when, I basically just thought, fuck it, I'm getting a few drinks tonight. And I remember quite clearly, I think it was possibly because my boss wasn't there as well. If my boss had been, I had no money either, so I had to borrow money from the tips that day. So if my boss had been there, I don't think I would have done it, because I've just been through all this rigmarole of going to a meeting, basically just saying, yeah, I'm really going to try this time, all this stuff. But it was hard. It's a family business. It was like someone else who was closing that day. So I was like, listen, can I just borrow 20 quid from the tips? Because I get paid the next day. So I knew I've got like maybe 6 quid or something. So if I borrow 20 quid, that's enough to get like maybe 8 cans. I'll still get like maybe 4 or 5 pints with that. I've got a little bit of weed in the house as well. So, you know, it's enough to get a good buzz on. Like, that'll keep me going for the whole night, and then when I wake up in the morning, I'll have some money. So that happened on the Wednesday, and then on the Wednesday I was like, I'd had quite a bit to drink, and I went back to the flat, got my weed, went out, took out a couple of bottles of beer with me, and I remember standing outside a chip shop, fucking smoking a joint and drinking this bottle of beer, and just try to start conversations with people. And that's never a good thing, because when I'm in that mindset, again, it's the wholesomeness thing. You're never going to have a wholesome heart to heart, or heart to heart, but you're never going to have a wholesome, joyful interaction with me, like when I'm in that mindset. Maybe 5 years ago, 6, 7 years ago, you could have, with smoking a drink, I maybe be talking about like art and fucking music and how this is so powerful, meaningful, and all this. But I think I've become so bitter from drinking so much that I'd basically see anyone's opinion besides mine as like almost invalid. And then I was right, and they don't know fuck all about music. They don't know fuck all about politics. They don't know all this stuff. I had this fucking mentality after 6 or 7 or 8 beers, and then I've had a joint as well, so I'm probably slurring my words. You know what I mean? I'm just all over the place. In my head, I'm like on some wave or something, but in reality, like I must have been just all over the place. But I got home. Nothing terrible happened. I didn't lose anything. So this whole like stop drinking thing, it was at the back of my mind again. And I don't think I actually drank on the Thursday though. But then on the Friday I was in the takeaway. So like I said, part of the arrangement, working the takeaway, not as stressful. Go home, cook some dinner, or take some food home with me, put my feet up, watch a film, go to bed. Like that was the plan. But it was a Friday night, and I'm like, oh fuck this. I ended up going to, there was like a lively sort of neighbourhood bar, and I thought, fuck it, I'll go in here, get a few games of pool. I must have had about 4 or 5 pints in an hour and a half. Ran across to the petrol station, got 4 or 5 pint cans of beer. Drank probably 2 of them on the train home. And then I stopped at another bar where I was playing pool. I'm drinking pint after pint, and I'm going around the pool table, and I'm just hitting them like, fucking, why can't you just calm down and enjoy it? You're maybe enjoying it, like you like playing pool, you like drinking beer, you like listening to music. Do you know what I mean? I really just couldn't settle into it. And this is the sort of wholesome places sort of thing. A lot of bars there close about midnight. And there's like an underground bar or whatever you want to call it, is open till 2 on a Friday, Saturday. So I'm already thinking like, I'm gonna go there. And that's the sort of place where nothing really good happens. No, for someone like me. There might be a few times I'd bump into like a fellow drunk and have a bit of a heart-to-heart conversation because we were like so misplaced in that venue, you know. So it's quite a good icebreaker. But for the most part, it's like maybe 20-year-old is probably like the average age. It's like dance music, like rap music, techno, I don't know, I don't really know the genre, but it's like loud thumping sort of music, very dark, red lights. I would go in there, I figure I might as well just fucking go there now, because I'm going to be there at 2 o'clock. I just want to make sure I get in, get settled, and then I can drink till 2 o'clock and see if something happens. That was like basically where my head was. But when I'm in there, everything's annoying me. Like, I felt so out of place because I'm like there drinking on my own. Everyone there's there with their friends. They're all younger than me. They can all sort of let go. I'm like carrying this fucking monkey around with me. Like, I really just can't let go. I've always got this thing. You shouldn't be drinking. Like, do you know what I mean? I'm always carrying that around with me as well. And then just try to get served at the bar, take ages, people bumping in front of you, and then I'm just getting wound up and wound up. But I've seen all these guys with girls, and it's just this thing where you're like, how the fuck's he getting her? Like, I'm sitting here, this sort of fucking jealousy and just getting worked up. People dancing around about you, and then what happened a lot towards the end of my drinking, I don't know exactly what happened. Basically, I blacked out that night. This was a Friday night. I blacked out. Probably what's happened is I've just made some smart comment, someone's bumped in front of me, or I really don't know. But I'm putting myself in that situation where I tend to, there's a good chance I lacked out. I shouldn't be there in the first place, but again, we're like attracted to these dark places. It's almost like where everyone's kind of let to their own devices, like where it's like misbehavior is allowed, kind of thing. Yeah. So woke up the next day, shoulder sore, back sore, lost my phone, didn't have my phone. I actually took my bag there as well, straight from the takeaway. So I had my bag with a pair of shoes in it, a jacket. Yeah, basically I've lost that, like fucking phone charger, earphones, all this kind of stuff. And you're just like, oh my god. Like, that was a wake up call to me in terms of you came to two meetings, like, and you tried to kid yourself that you don't have to do this. Bang, like, it was a very quick reminder, and it did scare me. One of the thoughts I kept having that day is I was so lucky to have like a boss that kept giving me fucking chance after chance, because like working in kitchens, I always had this mentality like, if I lose my job, it's alright, I'll just go into that kitchen and ask for a job, or I'll get a try. Like, if I do that 100 times, I'll get a job. I was like in no mindset to do that, to figure out anything to do with my, like, sort my life out. I was in no mindset to do that, and I couldn't see any point in the future where I would be in that mindset. So basically, that made me think, if I didn't have a boss that was so forgiving, parents who could bail me out of problems, I try not to ask for too much help, but when it got bad, they would bail me out a number of times. If I didn't have that, my life would look so much worse. Like, my drinking got me in situations that, if it wasn't for certain fortunate circumstances in my life, my situation could be pretty dire, because of my attitude towards drinking and life. and where my head was at. Like I couldn't focus on anything. It's almost like this sort of fuck it mentality. Like, oh fuck it. Like, in your head, you want to be living such a good life. Like, you feel like you have so many opportunities, or like so many things you want to do in life, but you get like being bogged down by all these details, and you just think, oh fuck it, I'll just drink. Like, fuck this. I'd done that for so long that I couldn't even imagine getting a job in a fucking Indian takeaway, for example. Like, that was my thought process that got me by is, oh well, I'll always be able to get a job in a takeaway, or oh, I'll get a job washing dishes or something. At this moment, after this fucking beat down that I just had, I couldn't see myself doing that. I couldn't see myself summoning the strength, concentration, all those things, just to go and get a shitty job washing dishes. Like, and that was enough for me to kind of to humble me enough basically, I don't know, to go to A to get help, I suppose. That day I kept getting up, making a cup of tea, like, right, it's alright, I'll go for a shower now. Oh, fuck it, I'll go back to bed, and then I'll lie for another hour or two, watch something, have a wank, get back up, make a cup of tea. Right, I'll get ready now, like, I'll go for a shower now. Oh, fuck it, I'll just go back to bed for another hour. I kept doing this. I've done this all the time when I was hungover. I wasted days. Probably done that 5 or 6 times. By the time I actually got up, and I was like, right, I need to go to this bar, see if they've got my phone. I know I've been kicked out. You know that way you're on a blackout and you can't remember it, but I knew I'd been kicked out that night. All the bruises, and like, I must have been doing something and they've had to throw me out. Like, I'm guessing that's what happened. I think it got to about 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, and I was like, fuck it, I better go down this bar before it closes. Like, so I can see if they've got my phone. The bouncer didn't even let me in. I said, mate, can you just check if my phone's there? Like, I've lost my phone. Like, no, it's not here. Which is fair enough. Like, I must have been pretty bad. So yeah, that was it. That was a very miserable night. I think I got a pizza. I've said this before, I don't know if I've published it, but I think I probably went and got a pizza and like a big jug of milk and a bag of crisps or something. That's the sort of stuff I would do. And I think, actually, because I'd lost my phone, I couldn't even text my boss that day that I couldn't go in. I think I Facebook messaged someone I work with just saying, can you tell my boss I'm really, really sorry. And that was really, they were really pissed off with me at that point. That was the first point I thought, right, I might not be able to make up for this. I thought I might have lost my job then. And then that was quite tough because of the mindset I'm in, where I really don't know how I'm going to snap out of this. So that basically was enough to get me to a few meetings. I think I was fortunate enough as well where, because I didn't drink in the house as much, I'd always drink in the house after I'd been to the pub. But I think I was fortunate in the sense that I was working a lot, and like the quantity of alcohol I was consuming might not have been as bad as some others, but it was it was consuming my whole life, like my whole thinking, my whole like I just couldn't see any way out of my situation. So after that, I still had some holiday pay from my work, and basically they were quite helpful with that, in that she spread it out over the course of like, she basically gave me 100 quid a week, and on the weeks where I had to pay rent, she would give me my rent money on top of it. So I was basically able to make my holiday pay last me like 2 months. And basically all I done was go to meetings, cook dinner, and watch films for 2 months, and walk quite a lot. First probably month, probably the first 3 weeks, my sleeping pattern was all over the place. Like, I don't know, one day I'd wake up 4 o'clock at night or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and then, I'd make myself breakfast, go for a walk, go for a coffee, go to a meeting, go home, make my dinner, and I'd just be up all night, and I'd be watching sobriety videos, watching films, documentaries, everything about alcoholism and drinking. Like, I needed, my mind was so occupied by it that I needed to replace drinking with that. It was enough to keep my mind, like, just to almost to keep it from wandering. Like, I was just constantly watching films about alcoholism. It was like The Lost Weekend, My Name is Bill W, Flight. Like, honestly, there's quite a few good. Leaving Las Vegas as well. There's quite a few good Days of Wine and Roses. I quite like Jack Lemmon. I can't remember that film, but basically just watching like alcohol related content for weeks. But yeah, like I might be up all night as well doing online meetings. I go out for a walk at 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning, come home, make breakfast. I'm like, right, okay, I'll just stay up for a while. Do you know what? I'll probably just try and stay up all day, and then I'll sort my sleeping pattern out tonight. Like, I'll go to bed at a good time tonight, and then I'll wake up tomorrow and everything will be sorted. And then I'll maybe go to a meeting in the morning, come home, and I'll just be like, fucking, I'm so tired. And then I just sleep, and then I'll maybe wake up at 8 o'clock at night. Like, honestly, this went on for weeks. Some days I'd be up all night, some days, like, it took weeks to sort that out. Like, that, for me, that's normal. Every time I stopped drinking, my sleep was all over the place for at least 5 days. And I think because I'd given myself time, because I was like, right, I've got enough money to do me at least 6 weeks. I'm just going to really focus on this. So I didn't have to be up at any particular time. If I wanted to go for a walk, I'd go for a walk. If I wanted to eat something, like, everything was on my own time, and that really helped. The money thing really helped as well. Not having enough money to get drunk, like drunk, because basically I'd only drink if I had enough money to get really drunk. And if I knew I didn't have enough money coming in the next 2 or 3 days, then I'd probably I'd figure out I'd maybe take 1 or 2 days off it. Like if I can not drink tonight, that means I can get drunk tomorrow. Like that's how my fucking mind worked. So knowing that I only had a very limited amount of money coming in, but it was enough to eat healthy. Like basically, I could eat whatever I wanted. I could go out for coffees, that kind of stuff. Like I had enough money to live fairly comfortably. I don't have many expenses in my life, so basically that money was just for like food and stuff. Um, so I knew I basically had enough money to live pretty comfortably as long as I didn't drink, and that was quite motivating. So yeah, and then that made me kind of enjoy like going out for coffee, stuff like that. So yeah, honestly, like then 6 weeks later, basically, that's when I started going back to work, like part time and stuff like that. But that's that's probably enough for today. That's basically the last week of my drinking. This idea of wholesomeness has been kind of following me around. um, yeah, I think I'm in a place where people kind of come here so they can misbehave a little bit. It feels like the whole culture, the whole not the culture, the town and like the whole atmosphere and stuff. I don't think the whole of Thailand's like this, but it's I don't know. I think I went to an Asian guy, and I think he's put me in a lot of touristy places. And I think again, it's that I could have chose to go to somewhere more wholesome, like more like a retreat. Probably went up, like I said, Nepal, or could have went to maybe Vietnam or something. But I think I'll do it. Mate.
So if you like to smoke, we have some smoking area near the snack bar. Also cold drink, fresh coconut, sweet corn barbecue, and fast food soda. Alright, everyone, so enjoy your holiday. Have a good time on Miami. Sorry, thank you. Thank you for your kind cooperation. Thank you for your safe measure. Thank you. Hi, ladies and gentlemen, everyone, so sawadee. Welcome to Miami. Welcome to Miami. So enjoy your picture along. Now we can take some pictures.